Did you know that one of the most recognizable Patronuses in all of the wizarding world is also among the rarest?
Expecto Patronum!
Back in September of 2016, the site formerly known as Pottermore launched a quiz for fans to see which magical creature they would have as a Patronus. 3 years later, WizardingWorld.com shared a list of the top 20 most common, as well as a handful of rarities. The regal stag comes in at 118th overall, but with more than 140 total Patronuses in the quiz, there are plenty of others even more rare. In this video, we'll take a look at the top 10 rarest Patronuses in all of the wizarding world. Now, a few passionate fans on Reddit thoroughly broke down the quiz to see exactly how it works. There's even a dedicated website called WizardMore, where you can take all of the Pottermore quizzes as many times as you want. They also have some really interesting explanations and statistical breakdowns on how the quizzes actually work. The questions are sorted into groups, and each group has a specific set of questions. You start with the first group, and as you answer, you'll move to the next set. If you answer the questions in a certain way, you might get to answer more questions. This is what ends up opening the path for rare Patronuses. It's actually possible to get your Patronus after only answering 5 questions. Going down this path will likely give you one of the most common Patronuses, as all of those in the top 20 only require 5 questions. There are some Patronuses, though, that only appear after 6 or even 7 questions. Those that take 6 questions fall into a category the wizarding world describes as unusual, while those that take 7 questions are considered the very rare. Only 10 magical creatures fall into this category. Starting off our list, we have a very memorable creature first introduced in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. After witnessing Cedric's death at the end of his 4th year, Harry returns to school and is shocked to see these dark and skeletal creatures pulling the Hogwarts carriages. If we head over to Mugglenet's comprehensive list of Pottermore Patronuses, we find a detailed breakdown. Thestrals get a bad reputation as unlucky omens, probably due to their spooky appearance and association with death. The reality is that these intriguing creatures, which are only visible to people who have witnessed death and accepted its significance, are gentle and kind. Thestrals can fly at incredibly fast speeds and have a keen sense of direction. If the herd that lives in the Forbidden Forest is any indication, Thestrals can be extremely loyal to their human friends and will fiercely attack their enemies. This makes the Thestral an intimidating and powerful Patronus. Now, to get this Patronus requires a very specific answer set, and it does require you reaching all 7 questions. Witches and wizards with a Thestral Patronus would have responded to the first 5 question groups with answers color-coded in blue here. Responses on the final 2 groups would have to be green. So it goes blue, 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 green, green. At number 9 on our list, we have a magical creature Harry never runs into in the mainline series. Instead, we can learn about the rune spore in the supplemental book written by J.K. Rowling as a reference, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The creature is classified as a beast in the 4X category, meaning it's a dangerous creature only experienced wizards should handle. Newt had a rune spore inside his case in the Fantastic Beasts film, but it only appeared on screen in this deleted scene. The rune spore is a magical 3-headed snake native to Africa, known for its association with parcel mouths and dark magic. Each head serves a different purpose: the planner, the dreamer, and the critic. And its eggs are used in potions to aid with mental agility. This creature makes a formidable Patronus, attacking Dementors from all 3 heads, disabling them quickly and ferociously. The rune spore also requires 7 questions on the Patronus quiz and a very specific set of answers. The color combination needed across the question groups is red-blue, red-green, red-green, blue. Like the rune spore, our next magical creature never appears in the main series. It has appeared in several of the Harry Potter video games, though, as well as the Fantastic Beasts book. Turns out there are many different breeds of winged horses in the wizarding world. Even the Thestral falls into this category. This particular Patronus is known as the Granian winged horse. Granians are winged horses known for their immense speed. In Norse mythology, the hero Sigurd has a horse named Grani, who is said to run faster than the wind. With this speed, the Granian winged horse is bound to run down Dementors without a problem. The responses you need for the Granian winged horse are red-green, red-blue, red-green, green. In Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, one of Hagrid's more successful lessons teaches the students about fire-dwelling salamanders. This small fire-dwelling lizard is born out of flames and lives as long as the flames that spawned it, though it can survive outside them for up to 6 hours if fed properly. This Patronus represents a person that was born and/or has lived under pressing circumstances but overcomes every obstacle, getting stronger each day. People with this Patronus love challenges and are good at handling stress. These small lizards feed on flames and come with a 3X classification from the Ministry, which means any competent wizard should be able to handle them without much trouble. Their blood also has powerful curative and restorative properties. The answer choices to be granted this Patronus are red, blue, red, blue, red, green, green. Coming in at number 6, we have one of the most recognizable magical creatures in all of the wizarding world, and one that features prominently in the series. The Hippogriff is a proud and dangerous creature. They are half eagle, half horse, the offspring of a horse and griffin. If your Patronus is a Hippogriff, you likely have a demeanor that commands respect, or else. You've been known to fiercely defend those you're loyal to and lash out at those who don't earn your respect. At the same time, you are capable of growing to love former enemies after a bloody battle. Of course, hippogriffs are described in detail throughout the 3rd book. We get a first-hand look as to how they command respect. By bowing before Buckbeak, Harry is permitted to pet and even ride the hippogriff. Compare this to Malfoy, who is attacked after not bowing first. The answers and path to get a hippogriff on the Wizarding World Patronus quiz are incredibly close to that of a Thestral. The responses in order will be 5 straight blue answers followed by 1 green and then a blue to finish out. This means that last response is the deciding factor on you getting a hippogriff versus a Thestral Patronus. Kicking off the top 5, we have the Erumpent, which has a 4X classification from the Ministry. According to Fantastic Beasts, the Erumpent is a large, gray African beast of great power. They can weigh up to a ton and may be mistaken for a rhinoceros from far away. They have thick hides that repel magic and a sharp horn that can even pierce metal. Not only that, the horn has a fluid inside that will cause anything injected with it to explode. Erumpent horns, tails, and even the exploding fluid are highly valuable materials used in potion making. The Erumpent hurtled into fashion after a scene in the Muggle film based on Magizoologist Newt Scamander. These creatures are normally quite calm until provoked, or during mating season, when it will use its horn to pierce anything it deems a threat. Some wizards say that this special Patronus can use its horn to inject the Dementor with happy thoughts, making the Dementor itself explode in a burst of light. Wizards or witches with an Erumpent Patronus will have responded with answers corresponding to red, green, red, green, red, green, blue. At number 4, we have yet another winged horse, but these actually make an appearance in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The Abraxan winged horses pull the carriages belonging to Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic as they arrive at Hogwarts for the Triwizard Tournament. A breed of winged horse, gigantic in size and extremely powerful. They are selective eaters and usually require forceful handling. As a Patronus, they represent power, determination, and a free spirit. Fantastic Beasts describes them as immensely powerful giant palominos. The answers needed for this Patronus will need to be red, green, red, blue, red, green, blue, in that order. Now in the top 3, we have another 4X magical creature that also appears briefly in the first Fantastic Beasts film. The Akami is found natively in the Far East and India. They can reach a length of 15 feet and have a serpentine body. They feed mostly on rats and birds, but are highly defensive, especially if they sense their eggs are threatened. Aside from the unusual bird-serpent cross in appearance, the most distinguishable feature of the Akami is its Coronaptixic ability, which is a magical ability to change its size to fit the available space. For this reason, it'd be understandable to believe that those who have the Akami for their Patronus are flexible and willing to compromise depending on the situation. Flexibility here could easily come in any form, not just in body, but also in mind, heart, and soul. Akami Patronuses may seek and thrive on attention, but are also commonly very defensive, especially around those they don't know. Answers to receive this Patronus will follow the pattern of red, blue, red, green, red, green, green. Coming in at number 2, we have what has to be the largest Patronus of them all, at least in terms of its sheer physical size. Various dragon breeds make frequent appearances throughout the original series, starting with the very first book all the way to book 7. Unsurprisingly, dragons have a 6X classification from the Ministry, identifying them as known wizard killers and impossible to domesticate, despite Hagrid's best attempts. One of the most powerful and formidable creatures of the magical world, dragons are ambitious and dominant. With the ability to breathe fire, they quickly assert themselves, garnering both fear and respect from those around them. They are unafraid to take risks and prefer to live by their own set of rules. They are quick to lead and do not back down from a challenge. Dragons are strong in their convictions and will stand for what they believe is right. Those with a dragon for a Patronus are sure to be fierce fighters, and the Dementors better be ready for a challenge. A dragon Patronus requires answers falling into the red, blue, red, green, and blue response categories. Now, our final remaining Patronus and number 1 should be the unicorn. So why does the Wizarding World website mention a completely different creature? The albatross is the rarest Patronus on our list, the one belonging to the lowest number of Wizarding World fans. For the unicorn, it reads, a magical form of Patronus is very uncommon, and the unicorn is one of the rarest on our list. According to Newt Scamander, the unicorn is a pure white horned horse when fully grown. They generally avoid human contact, so a unicorn Patronus might indicate shyness and a personality, as well as an air of mystery. Although it doesn't follow that a magical Patronus is more powerful than any other, it may reflect an unusual personality. The answers to get the unicorn are red, green, red, green, red, green, green. Surprisingly, the albatross doesn't even fall into the very rare category. It actually only takes 6 questions to reach instead of 7. So how did it end up as the rarest Patronus according to the Wizarding World? I was pretty stumped on this at first, so I did quite a bit of research to try and get to the bottom of this in order to make this video. There are a few reasons here we'll go through, but the ultimate answer is actually quite simple. Turns out some answers are more likely to be picked than others. Everything we've been talking about so far is almost solely based on math. But it's not like these answers are fed through a computer where each is selected an equal number of times. It's not a simple heads or tails coin flip. Now, I know not everyone enjoys all of this math and numbers, so let me simplify. Just think of our top 10 list from today's video that ended with the unicorn as being the rarest Patronus. Think of this as the rarest Patronuses according to J.K. Rowling. She had a direct hand in making the quiz and designed it in a way that these 10 are what should mathematically be the most difficult Patronuses to get. And just as an aside, even with so many creatures included, the quiz is still missing some, like the Phoenix, which we know is a possible Patronus thanks to Dumbledore. Perhaps it's actually the rarest of them all. But it turns out those very rare and unusual designations were written into the quiz based purely on the math. But of course, when designing the quiz, they would have had no idea which answers would end up being the most common. This is where we get to the human element, taking our decisions into account. And that is what the Wizarding World was getting at with their reveal of the albatross as the rarest Patronus. Perhaps least common result may be a better way of phrasing it. You see, those of us taking the quiz are given full control over our answers, and considering the answers aren't just a binary coin flip, it's only logical to expect that some will start to be selected more often than others. So even though the albatross only takes 6 answers to obtain, it seems those taking the quiz are picking those answers at a much lower rate than any other Patronus. The albatross also happens to share the exact same answers with the vulture and impala. So even if you followed the WizardMore guide to get the albatross, there's a chance that you could give the exact same answers multiple times in a row and still not get it. Unfortunately, Wizarding World hasn't updated the article in several years, and unless they ever decide to share that information publicly, it's unlikely we'll ever truly know which Patronuses ended up as the least common, at least from the Pottermore quizzes. But at least we'll always have the quiz itself and those very rare designations that J.K. Rowling and her team came up with. If you're a lore nerd like me, that's what I'm personally most interested in anyway. And I really want to know why she didn't put a Phoenix in here. Honestly, I'd still love to see a list from the Wizarding World that shows all of the results from most common all the way to least common. Who knows, maybe one day. Oh, and speaking of Phoenixes, I have to give a big shout out to all of our channel members supporting at the Tier 3 Phoenix level. Martin, Savage Khaleesi, Dylan, and Noah, thank you guys so much, as well as all of our other channel members here. You guys really help make videos like this possible. Now, for those of you who enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to check out the one on the left side of your screen next. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.